Navigating the timetabling tool. So the timetabling tool is navigated using the navigation buttons, which are on the Start tab. And we press the buttons, and we can go to the various parts of the spreadsheet. And if we go to one of the other tabs, there'll be a big yellow back to navigation part here. And we can go to wherever we want to go, and it will take us back and forth across the area. There is one other navigation within navigation buttons that's within the department registers, and that will allow us to quickly go to the rooms, to the staff, or back to the start to put the timetables in. So we have two sets of buttons within the timetable tool: navigation ones, and we also have ones that perform operations. So things that will allow load in time, or calculate various things, or will fix it and end the sessions. So if I press one of these ones, let's say start the session here, it will sit and recalculate various numbers. In terms of going through the various areas, we have the event types. And so the event types set out what type of event types we might have. We might timetable their weightings that we applied, if we're using weightings at all, or whether there'll be at least be at ones and zeros, because there might be one where we just want to block out a whole area anyway. So we give them contact time, but we want to block it out. Whether we're going to include them in the class checks or not, the weekly patterns, and the number of weeks within that pattern. We have the staff setup. So we have a staff code that we're going to use. It's whatever code you want to choose in there. And we have the staff member. And we use the code when we're timetabling on the staff member because there might be two Paul Smiths. We have the department name if we want to include those. And we have their contract hours. Now, if we're using weighting, we might have a higher figure. If we're not, then we're using contact hours. We have that. But also as well, we might have maximum contact hours within a week. This sheet then will also give us then the utilization of staff members across them, because this is in just a test version. You can see how it's overutilization because they're in various different departments. We have our room setup. So our room numbers, the maximum occupancy that we might put in those rooms, and the maximum number of groups that might be taught in the same space. So we might have a large workshop, and let's say we can have two different groups of two different lecturers in at the same time. Typically, though, it'll be one, a classroom or what have you, that can only have one group in there at the same time. And you can set the number of hours per week that we want for our utilization calculations. The Maths and English block planner is a tool that's used to be able to plan out the Maths and English sessions. So we put the Maths and English sessions into the ME sessions, and where we're going to have them in various blocks. And that will drive then the available positions of the practical sessions and the theory sessions. So when you pick a particular Maths and English block, let's say block number 3, your practical sessions will end up here, typically, and your academic sessions will end up there, and your practical sessions will end up there. You could swap a practical session for an academic session, but you're going to struggle to swap an academic session for a practical session. So if you wanted, in this instance here, there's a plan, and it's been set out with 3 consecutive days and 4 Maths and English sessions in total. So that would be the pattern that was required for that particular approach. The non-maths course setup, so the vocational course setups, their course name that we're using when we put in our timetables, their proper MIS code, the expected student numbers, and the Maths and English grades on entry. When we attach them to various blocks and the actual Maths and English course, they will add up the numbers of students within those particular blocks. Over time, as they all get added up, you want to maintain that as level and even as possible, and not overfill a block. If you overfill a block, then you will have problems in terms of class timetabling, generic classrooms, queue sizes in the lunch breaks, and also library size as well. So you tend to keep those as even and flat as possible. The Maths and English courses. So these are the Maths and English course names, the blocks that they belong to, the GCSE Maths and whether they're GCSE functional skills or GCSEs or functional skills. And then this will then add up in the total numbers of the learners that have been attached to those particular courses. If we then go into the registers, We have the maths and English one, which is a specific one. It can't be changed. We can change the department names for the other ones, but the maths and English one is fixed. That's because this particular set of registers are going to be linked to the other departments those departments choose the maths and English courses. So we go to the registers. Here's the registers for maths and English as they're laid out. There's the staff members. Oh, sorry. There's the staff member timetable, and so we can switch to various things here. So they'll have the register numbers that you've chosen in the timetables, their courses, times, and where their locations are. So ultimately, you can sort of take this and timetable it. We'll have our course timetables here. Now this is based on whatever registers have been timetabled, and our room timetable here. And so, yeah. In the departments, let's just pick department 1. We'll have it's the same layout, but the departments ones are different in that they will also as well link into maths and English courses for 16 to 18-year-old groups. So we can see here that the maths and English courses appear. We can go and have a look and see what the situation is in terms of the rest of that group. So let me come across a bit. So here we can see that what we timetabled. And in other sessions, we can go through the detail of this. We can look at the room as well, and we can come back to the start and start to be able to timetable. We would have the department, the staff members timetable, and we've also as well got the course timetable. Now, in the course timetable, you have the registers or the staff members with their hours, and they're different colours for different staff members. It will also as well pull in the English and maths that are attached to that course and put them there, so you can't overwrite them, and give an idea about how long they've been timetabled on the vocational provision, not on the add the maths and English on top. And if they have maths and English, they will be doing a directed study instead in those slots within the library. So you would add just 6 hours on top of that to give the idea of the length of your course when you're trying to hit your 580 hours. That is how you navigate around the tool. In addition to the navigation buttons, there are action buttons. So these ones here are not navigation ones. They will perform an action. So it will start the session in that particular area and start to populate it with equations. Or alternatively, end the session and freeze the information that's in there and save processing power for other people doing other activities across the spreadsheet. That is navigation of the timetabling tool.